What if I told you that a single court case could change the way a nation's constitution is interpreted for generations to come? That's exactly what happened in the case of the state of Bihar versus Kameshwar Singh in 1952. The case was argued by none other than Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, a titan in the field of law and a principal architect of the Indian Constitution. In the early 1950s, the state of Bihar enacted legislation that allowed for the compulsory acquisition of property without providing just compensation. This move was challenged by a landowner named Kameshwar Singh, who argued that such a law violated his constitutional rights. Enter Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, a seasoned legal scholar and a champion of human rights, who would argue the case on behalf of Singh. The crux of Dr. Ambedkar's argument was that the compulsory acquisition of property without just compensation was against the spirit of the Constitution. He believed that the spirit of the Constitution, its underlying principles and the intent of its framers should guide its interpretation. This was a novel approach, one that challenged the traditional view of constitutional interpretation. Unfortunately, the Supreme Court did not accept Dr. Ambedkar's arguments at the time, ruling in favor of the state of Bihar. However, this was not the end of the story. Far from it, in fact. Dr. Ambedkar's arguments laid the groundwork for the basic structure doctrine, a legal principle that emerged years later and has since become a cornerstone of constitutional law in India. This doctrine asserts that the Constitution has a basic structure of principles and values that cannot be altered by amendments. It draws heavily from Dr. Ambedkar's argument about the spirit of the Constitution, emphasizing the importance of upholding the fundamental ideals upon which a constitution is built. The impact of the state of Bihar versus Kameshwar Singh case and Dr. Ambedkar's role in it cannot be overstated. It sparked a conversation about constitutional interpretation that continues to this day, not just in India but around the world. It highlighted the importance of infusing meaning into the Constitution over time, of allowing it to evolve in response to changing societal needs and values. So, while Dr. Ambedkar's arguments may not have won the day in court, they have had a lasting impact on the field of constitutional law. They have influenced transformative constitutionalism and continue to shape the ongoing discourse on constitutional interpretation. The spirit of the Constitution, as Dr. Ambedkar saw it, lives on. As we wrap up this exploration of constitutional interpretation through the lens of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, remember this: the Constitution is not just a document. It's a living, breathing entity that evolves with time, guided by the spirit of its principles and the vision of its framers. And sometimes it takes a visionary like Dr. Ambedkar to remind us of that.